She's made a name for herself as a fierce protector, not just of women, but for men as well. We all remember her from the unfortunate incidents of Agnes Tirop, and since then, Joan Chelimo has been at the forefront of making sure that men and women all get the protection that they deserve. And not just that, there's a lot more about her, and that's why we are in Eldoret today, in Iten actually, just to find out a bit more about this lady who, Elijah, she's Kenyan, she's Romanian, she's a mother, she's a wife, she is a protector, she's an athlete. She has so many hats, all of them at once, and we are like, let's find out more about her. What is it that makes her do so much?
Yeah, for sure. We know her as the one who defends the athletes, but when you come to meet her, she's a really cool person, by the way. She's really cool and outgoing. She has jokes here, storytelling. She's fascinating, to be honest. I'm just gobsmacked right now.
Joan, Elijah is gobsmacked by meeting you. Thank you so much for hosting us at your place. Where does the fire come from? Because you are very fiery, you are very forceful, you are very passionate. That's the word, actually. You are very passionate about gender-based violence. Where does that fire come from?
Thank you so much. My name is Joan Chelimo, and I'm a marathon runner. Also, co-founder at Europe Angels and founder Strides for Africa, an organization that fights gender-based violence in sport and in the community. I'm really passionate about giving back, and this matter became deeply personal after I lost my friend, Agnes Tirop. She was just 25 years old. She was brutally murdered by the husband. She used to live 200 meters from me. And it was like a wake-up call. I decided to just be the voice and create a platform where women, men, anyone in the community could just come up and speak up on their issues, because the main purpose was a platform where to speak up.
How much work have you put in so far when you look at it? Because I know, like you said, you are a founder of Tirop Angels and then you've started your own. How much work has gone into it, and are you seeing the fruits of what you want to achieve? Are you seeing success?
I've put a lot of work into it since Agnes was murdered, and later again, another athlete called Damaris was murdered. And then I was in Paris Olympics with Rebecca Cheptegei. She was burned alive. So since then, we have had, I would say, 70% of women coming out and speaking up. So this showed that we've done something about it. We've saved almost 50 lives. And out of, it is sad that we lost the one we lost, but you could see that we have now people coming out, speaking up freely, especially female athletes, male athletes. We take them through counseling, and just rescue them, sensitize on gender-based violence. So there's so much that we've done, and even just trying to change the cultural norms and going to school, supporting education and talent. So there's so much that we've done, and yeah, from at least 70% of people have come out.
Joan, this is very personal and deep for you, very close to your heart. Did you have any incidents? Did you pass through a particular scenario where you also understand what the women, the men who are going through GBV are undergoing?
Yes, it is deeply personal, as I said, on my own story. When I was growing as an athlete, first I had a male coach, and it was very challenging to just try ends to make it, and you're being coached by a man, and even when you're on your monthly period, a male coach would not understand you better. So first, when I was growing up, there was a big challenge. And also even after making it, because I remember in the year 2013, 2014, thereabouts, then I'm this big athlete who have really grown from out of poverty, tried to make it get a full scholarship in America, did not manage to go. But now, get a partner, and then everything was taken away from me. I got taken advantage of, abused. And it was very sad for me, because I'm lucky that I am alive, because my my story is deeply personal and really connected to this, and this explains more why I do this. And then now losing people that are close to you, even your friends that you train with. So I said I could not stay silent anymore because I'm lucky that I'm alive, but through my story, through my journey, someone else will be inspired, and I would change someone's perception that there's even life and even light and hope, give hope to them.
When you say you lost property, lost your belongings, what exactly? How exactly did we end up losing your property? So
I was in a married setup, and I would say I was taken advantage of. So all my athletics earnings were taken out from me. So that is just simply how to describe it.
Was it a joint account or just separate?
It was a separate, but everything that we've invested together was taken out. So it was really hard and very tough moment for me in my life. But then I just woke up again, stand up with my own feet, and I'm lucky that I am alive and I got another chance.
So does it then give you a bit of satisfaction when you see someone like Lucy Kabu? You saw her case recently. At least she was able to get a lot of her property back. Does that give you an encouragement that, yes, these fights can be won, they are being won?
I think we have, that is Lucy Kabu's story. I even reposted it. It was really encouraging because I don't know how many women, especially top female runners, have won the cases that they're in court. Because many of them, I came to realize that many of them were really suffering in silence. And to see Lucy win, that is just like 1% of the female runners who lost. It was really encouraging, and I hope that justice will be more served to these female runners.
What's the biggest challenge when you are trying to get this kind of fairness and equality and everyone to get what they deserve? What are some of those hindrances? What are the challenges that you are facing in your current quest to make sure that, guys, no one should suffer from gender-based violence, not men, not women? What are some of those challenges that you face?
The most biggest challenge is speaking up. Stigmatization as well. Most of them, they live in fear because they are Olympic champions, world record holders, and the community kind of stigmatize them if they come out and say whatever they are going through. Violence is normalized even in our community. Iten is a village, it's maybe 10,000 people, we have 4,500 runners. But when you come out and speak up freely about what is happening, people would even use it as a source of entertainment. Now, especially when you are a champion, they make fun. So most of them are really, the biggest challenge is speaking up and stigmatization, and now the female runners who are now going against the cultural norms. They are becoming independent. If you look at the story of Rebecca Cheptegei, she owned the land, she knew about herself, her rights. She even reported the police at the police in February of the land dispute. So all these causes of violence happen because of dispute over something. So like Rebecca's case was dispute over land. That is how they end up being killed. Another challenge is now the agents, because before the agents used to send money to the husband's account. And it was a big challenge for the women because they could not have or assess their financial income. The lastly is financial literacy. Most of athletes are illiterate, especially when it comes to, after struggling, training very hard, winning medals, beyond the finish line, it's a mess. There's no one who has idea of what to do after winning. So it comes as a shock when someone wins New York and get maybe $500,000, and in a village like Iten, where when you have 10,000, that is $1 million shillings, and it's a lot. So, and some of the programs that we do is now give them literacy on finance, and now maybe education more on the laws, because They don't have lawyers and just people who can teach them about how is the law, how having trust, so that in case the marriage setup doesn't go as planned, you can still maintain and have your property on, or whatever you put it in a trust. So it's just basic knowledge and just understanding of all this. But financial literacy is the most thing that we really try to give them education on it, and it's a mess.
So how do you teach yourself? How did you gain this courage and resolve to be courageous as you are and to be able to speak out, because there's a lot of stigmatization?
It is a very tough question, because when I started giving back and started now asking people to speak up, first I am a professional runner. I have no background on counseling or anything matters to do with GBV, but just because I started it out of emotions. It was difficult because I got resistance from my own community. I got bullied on social media that I'm trying to bring up different cultures and it will not work. So, but for the last 2 years is when that happened, but I started engaging men and even political leaders talk about, because GBV is not only a woman issue, and also trying to give them education that gender-based violence is just that women are vulnerable. And it started even happening to men. We had male athletes who committed suicide. So they would also understand that it's not only a woman issue. And now involving them and just asking them to come to the workshop, asking the leaders who are men or women, anyone, to come talk about it is when now I start gaining confidence slowly by slowly. And yeah, this is where I am today.
So were you surprised when the men also started to speak out and started to say, hey, it's not only women who undergo this vice, it's also us. We also suffer.
Yes, I was really surprised because first, because of the cultural aspect. In my culture, there is a place for the woman and the man also in the society where, you have to just provide and that's how I said, I was asking myself, why female athletes? Because now they are going against the norms where they are now owning their own cars, properties, driving and providing even in the home, which I felt like the other gender was not okay with. But now with this sensitization, educational forums, I was really surprised that after some years of now understanding and sitting down with them, they have really agreed and they can come out and say, okay, it is wrong to do this to a woman, or it is wrong to do this to a man. And also going to school, because part of the changing of the culture is now we have a pillar where we do empowerment, and part of the empowerment programs is going to schools, so the young boys and girls, because that's how we will just change the cultures in the next years. And teaching them about now. If we only teach the girls, they will go out there and meet the boys. So we go to schools, we try to identify talent, support them in education, do a lot of restore dignity programs, and also now teach the young boys and girls on maybe safety, harassment, basic things, hygiene. Because also in Elgeyo Marakwet, there's a lot of defilement cases that doesn't even reach to court. So through these programs, we've been able now to gain confidence and see that now we can, from the data, we've gone to another level.
Away from all this, there's Joan the athlete. You see, now we've gone straight into activism and into protection. But away from this, there's an athlete. Let's talk a bit about the athlete. And of course, the standout thing about the athlete is that you are Kenyan-Romanian. Now, before we get to how you became Kenyan-Romanian, how did it all start? How did you end up in this athletics business? How was it? Someone you saw? How did you get involved in it in the first place?
How I got into athletics? Yes, it's really interesting because that was back in 2010 after high school. So I decided to I wanted to live the American dreams.
So you didn't run in high school? Did you run in primary school and high school?
I ran in primary and high school, but it was more of just to get out of school because it wasn't like
for the outing.
Yeah, for the outing. It was not very
serious.
I wasn't serious. I remember there was a program with Brother Cole on St. Patrick's program, and we have at least like visiting Chepkesha, and she could ask me to run in school. We could join a run sometimes, but it wasn't very serious. I became serious after high school now when I realized, okay, I am a firstborn in a family of 5 and I need to take care of my siblings, and I need a life after this. And there was this, it was that time, there was American scholarship. So I did I went to Kaptagat and trained and, apparently did a trial and even won and got a full scholarship at Texas Tech University. And after that, I could not go because I could not manage to raise $1,000 by then. So now is when I came back in 2011 and started now competing locally. My first cross country was Chepkoilel cross country, and I won 5,000, and that's how I made my first passport and traveled to Spain. And that's now my journey of being a professional athlete. So from then I've been traveling and racing as a pro runner. I thank God for the hard life in my early days, but now the challenges made me who I am today. So that is how I started my journey of being a runner.
Thinking back, $1,000 cost you the American dream. How devastating was it then? Because now at least you've made it, but I can imagine then as a young teenager, hoping I can get it and then it goes away.
Yes, just thinking of just $1,000, which was like $100,000 to me by then. It was, when I think about it, I now do the programs that I'm doing to empower talents and look for sponsorship and scholarship for them so that at least they can, they cannot miss chances and opportunities. We've had very successful athletes like maybe Wesley Korir, Sharon Lokedi, and all these students who went to America and made a life after that. And we should also give opportunities because we have really big talents, and just not talent also, but also who are really academically good.
So when we speak about Romania and sports, I only know 3 sports personalities from Romania. I know Yanis Yaji, Haji, and his son.
George Haji.
Yes, George Haji.
George Haji and his son.
And his son.
Yes.
And now Joan. Joan.
I think Gabriel Sabo was also from Romania.
Yeah.
Tiny girl, she used to run the 5,000 meters. Yeah. So I've added you another one.
Okay, now 4. Joan, tell us.
Yeah, so I know, Romania is in Eastern Europe and it has given me opportunities. So I met one coach from Romania and he used to coach me. He still supports me a lot. And by then I was to get to the world. I was the 4th fastest runner in the world in half marathon. That was in 2018. And there was this selection of going to Valencia for the World Half Marathon Championship. So I was shortlisted, but not given the opportunity. And that was the 4th fastest. And by then I was denied a chance. And my coach told me, let me give you other opportunities. That's how I got the opportunity. Now I'm an Olympian because I'm Romanian. And it has really supported me, my athletics journey. And I feel proud to be Romanian.
How does it work? Like how because I know, you're Kenyan-born Romanian. How does it work in terms of the kind of support they give you, the kind of relationship you have with the Olympic Committee and with the Athletics Federation?
They are giving me a very good support, and the relationship is really mutual because we've had, even with the embassy, exchange programs of athletes. Kenya exports, takes 20, not even athletes, but we have an exchange program where people go there to study. And also in Romania, it's I have a home there, so it is more. I don't even feel the difference when I'm in Romania and when I'm in Kenya. Of course, I live in Transylvania, in Brasov, and we have a very good relationship with the Olympic Committee, with the sports minister. It's just very easy.
And amongst all this, you're also a mother.
Yes.
How special is that? Because when I speak to ladies, You know this. All ladies say this, mtoto, nguvu ya pili, na kujanga na mtoto. So just tell me, how has that changed your life?
Being a mom changed my life a lot. That was in 2014. And I have viewed life differently. Of course, she will not understand. She's 10 years now. She's called Keche. She doesn't understand when I don't appear in podium. So I need to be extra motivated because she loves sports. She's also trying to run and just have her life. But after motherhood, life was really different for me in the sense of just working more hard. And I did my personal best, the 218 and 65 in the half is after motherhood. So I don't know, but I think it is really motivation for me.
And speaking of marathon, I'm sure you've seen what's going on in the recent days in women marathon. Now you're a marathoner. 2:11:53 was the world record. Ruth broke that one. And the other day we had a young Ethiopian lady run 2:10 in her debut. What do you think about the way marathon has evolved, especially among the women?
Marathon has really evolved among the women. It is, I would say I'm a 2:18:03 marathon runner, and women are getting faster every year. And I don't know. I have really no big comment on that. But every year, women keep on surprising on 2:10 on a debut. So this one will change everything, especially when it comes to sponsorship, contracts, and it means that it is able, like women are really breaking the barriers.
Is it the shoe? Is it the new training techniques? Is it the fact, like you're saying, women are becoming more independent, more assured in themselves, more self-confident, like you're saying, because they're doing a lot more? Because I'm thinking there has to be a reason why this incredible improvement is happening.
I think science, because now the world is changing. If you see the setup, like now what we have, like for instance, like Agnes, we are from the shoe, from the nutritional aspect. Before they used to just go train and maybe drink water. Now we have these sponsors like promoting all these carbohydrates products that we use tested in training. And yeah, basically the shoe. And now there is more seriousness and consistency and discipline when it comes to sport compared to long time, and also recovery. Because if you see right now, athletes are really just, when they are athletes, they just train, eat, sleep, repeat, and they have new things coming in. The nutritional plan, nowadays they have nutrition, they test lactate in training. So I think it's also the technology and the science.
Yes. When it comes to nutrition, is it too different from what we are used to eating back at home?
No, it is. No, it's. I'm talking about even nutrition here in Kenya, because you see, before you could know the amount of carbohydrates. There's how you measure that your body needs, maybe after the long run, or maybe before a 40 kilometers run. You need to be specific with this protein, carbohydrates, and everything. So from the hydration process that we test in training, and now it is showing up now in races, because for Agnes to run 28 it is not easy, and she's just from here. But the science and the technology and the sacrifice and the money the company puts in, it tells a lot about now where athletics, the next level of athletics is going.
What do you want your legacy to be when all is said and done? How do you want Joan Chelimo to be remembered as?
I want to be remembered not just as an athlete who went running, winning medals, and just did nothing. I want to be remembered for the work I do and how I just give back to the community, and using my platform just to give hope for those people who lost their life or people who are going through any kind of violence. So I want, when someone sees my name or my photo, it's not about just medals, but also showcasing not only the good side of it, of being the home of champions, but also the dark side of it that happens, the struggles that athletes go through to win medals.
The word that comes to mind when I listen to Joan Chelimo is passion and drive and energy and a desire to make sure that this country improves one person at a time, Elijah.
Yes, she is the voice to the voiceless. There are instances, she mentioned some profound issues that are taking place within the sporting fraternity that I thought that never could it ever happen. If a champion, and just to give you context, you're a champion, you have won medals out there, you're a world champion or an Olympic champion, but you're afraid of the stigmatization you're going to get if you come out and say, hey, I'm undergoing this thing in my own home, in my own, from a person that I should be trusting. So it was very insightful to hear all the things that are happening within the sporting fraternity.
Well, that's Joan Chelimo. We will be back in Iten later on in the year because we want to see her when she gets going. She's got a huge project that she's currently working on, and fingers crossed that when she's getting it off the ground, Spot On will be on the ground to continue supporting her incredible work. Let's now move on to Shot of the Weekend, and not too many guesses where this comes from. Starboy, this is all about history. This is all about retaining Kenya Cup.
Yeah.
This is all about determination by the man in the middle.
Now, what is also interesting about this photo here is the shin. Eugene Sifuna's shin. Look at that. He has 2 bruises, and they look like deep cuts. Broken skin there, but he's still going. I don't think he'll be able to play with this sort of injury